How you doing? Coach St. Pierre here. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about my professional development plan when it comes to successful leaders. Successful leaders definitely have many different critical elements that support success in that leadership role. In order to be a successful leader, you kind of have to follow the first law of leadership, which Klausner and Posner states in their book. That is, if you don't believe the messenger, you do not, or you won't believe the message. And understanding this and being able to be confident about this is definitely a valid point. And with that quote, if I'm able to lead by example and teach different traits, I have to be confident in that, or none of my players or none of my coaches will really believe me in that sense, or be able to really connect with me. As a coach, I try to establish myself goals and visions of the program, but I also promote that with all of my players and my coaches. Within the golf program, we try, to do our best to obviously set high standard goals and low standard goals, and then long-term and short-term goals. But obviously stressing the importance of, how these goals are going to help us build character and become build character on and off the, playing surface. Some of our short-term goals are obviously have that winning record. It's basically a goal that every team probably has. And then we have our individual goals or our state tournament. We want to go to the SEC tournament or the state championship. But more importantly, we want to make sure that we really instill within our program the pride principle. That is, positive attitude, responsible, integrity, determination, and then obviously developing that excellence within us. Also, what I like to do is, ask yourself these 3 questions every single day. Ask, what kind of student am I? What kind of teammate am I? What kind of son or daughter am I? Because if you do this may overall help you become a more successful person because you're reflecting on yourself on a daily basis. Then some of our long-term goals are obviously long-term academics. We want to make sure our academics we're all about academics because you are a student athlete first. In addition to that, we want to make sure that we're always continuing to build a program and pushing it to the right direction in the future. For me, I always have, or what I like to try to promote or make use of is a 3-year personal plan. Personally, I want to make sure that within the next 3 years, I'm, looking to build myself as a coach, a professional, as an educator, but also trying to make a connection with, all my student athletes, all my coaches, and being able to take what I learned from, professional development from different coaches and bring them to each of my players. I also like to make use of many books, 2 being that I'm going to add in my repertoire from this actual course. That is Lead for God's Sake and the Leadership Challenge. But in addition to that, many of the books by John Wooden, one most important that I always seem to use is A Lifetime of Observations and Reflections on and off the court, and also Leading with Heart by Coach K. Obviously, some additional resources that I like to use is I like to go to other practices and see the coaching style of different coaches. Some you'll see are those high yeller coaches, really intense coaches. Some will be a more low-key coach, which, I kind of have to be now coming from a lacrosse background, high to low on the golf, playing surface where you can't really scream on a golf course if you do play golf and you'll understand that. I also, my goal this year is to, attend the National Coaching Convention and be able to pick up on, collegiate coaching styles and other high school coaching styles throughout the nation. For staff development within my coaches, a simple mission statement that I like to, kind of go by is, providing the opportunities for all of our students in the program to have a meaningful or develop a meaningful athletic performance, leadership, scholarship, service, those different things that are going to allow them to be beneficial in the future. As a coach, in the ideal environment, coaches will always encourage. Coach will always, encourage good leadership, good honesty, good, dependability. They'll provide, different ways to, learn, different ways to allow someone to pick up and grasp things, and obviously emphasize the fundamentals of your game or your sport. As a coach off the course, it is important to, be in contact with your team, but more importantly, help them with the collegiate aspect, help them with the high school aspect, attend those different conferences that might help on the course. I'm a big lead by example kind of guy, so I make sure that all my coaches have the opportunity to lead with the skills that they might want to be able to teach, but also more importantly, try out new techniques of teaching and learning. Another quote that I love is, any leadership practice that increases others' sense of self-determination, self-confidence, and a person's effectiveness make them more powerful and greatly enhances the possibility of their success. Same Casas and Posner, same. Think about that quote. It basically, in the big scheme of things, says if you attempt to try and put yourself out of the element, it is a learning curve for you, but also allows you to become successful. Within this, I'd like to say that I've developed a coaching code of conduct, but it's, overall simple guidelines. Coaches teach with good, in these guidelines, they coach with good attitudes, knowledge of the skill. They, help the individual's welfare. They are the experts, quote unquote, and they want to make sure that they're teaching the experts. And then obviously promote entire interscholastic positive sportsmanship and harmony within the school program. In addition to that, obviously making sure that they enforce the school rules and prevention, substance abuse, off-season workouts, making sure you're following any, protocol, whether it be, state of Connecticut CIAC rules in that regard. Student athletes developing their own student athlete development plan. I think there's 3 indispensable qualities. That's develop as a person, develop as an athlete, and develop as a player. When you develop as a person, you're taking this not just within athletics, you're taking this to your job, taking this individual skill long term. As an athlete, remember, like I said before, academics come first. You're student athletes. You're able to really make the connection that I need to do this in order to become this. And then as a player, what are you doing on the off season? What are you doing in the off season that's going to allow you to be helpful, or that's going to help your team throughout? In addition to this, I make use of John Wooden's leadership pyramid. And if you think about that and you look at that top, leadership quality, it is competitive greatness, being competitive and being great at what you do. The code of conduct within North Haven High School, each of the students, they have the opportunity and they must sign the golf code of conduct. And 2 big ones on the golf code of conduct is, one, obviously be respectful, responsible on the playing surface and on the golf course, but more importantly, showing maximum effort at all times, showing that you really truly care about what's going on within our program at all times. And obviously with the athlete and no substance abuse and any of that. What makes a transformative leader? In my opinion, transformative leaders come from different backgrounds, but are able to pull this together and lead knowing all those backgrounds. They're able to, teach and learn at the same time, but also lead to entire groups. You're able to develop a rapport with not just, we'll say Joe. You're able to make a rapport with Joe, Susie, and everyone else throughout your either company or your athletic team. You can influence each of the member and you're able to obviously work collectively and positively on a daily basis. Transformative leaders, in my opinion, the definition would look something in this regard. They are leaders that are able to, most importantly, lead positively, but they're able to motivate, they're able to educate, they're able to influence, they're able to do and determine and push in that determination factor to all their staff and all their athletes. So it's something that I think a transformative leader can use those different techniques that they've taken as a coach, as an educator, and give them to each one of their either players, their athletes, or their staff. To me, a professional development plan is essential to become a successful coach. And as I reflect on what my beliefs are and how they directly link to me as a coach, I think it's critical that I, make use of and continually make use of all the different elements that I'm able to, use, whether it be other coaches and administrators. I think successful coaching comes with successful leading. And in the future, I want to continue to make use of this. I thank you for your time today. If you have any questions, please contact me anytime. Thanks, Coach St. Pierre. Have a good day.